dashboards facilitate agreements among the school stakeholders. Number 3. SMEA dashboards lessen data preparation by focusing on information relevant to performance gaps. Number 4. For district and division supervisors, SMEA dashboards offer a quick snapshot of performance to be used as a guide in prioritizing technical assistance. There are 3 types of SMEA performance dashboards. Number 1. The SMEA dashboard for managing access. To be used after school opening, this dashboard provides a snapshot of the school's performance on access. It uses these progress marker indicators. 1. Percentage of mapped 5-year-old children in the community who are in school. 2. Percentage of mapped children in community who are in school. 3. Percentage of learners from previous school year who return to school in the current school year. 4. Percentage of graduates or completers who proceeded to the next grade level. Number 2. The SMEA dashboard for managing dropout and performance concerns. This dashboard is used to manage pupils or students at risk of dropping out and to address learners having academic performance issues. These are the progress marker indicators used in this dashboard. Number 1. Percentage of progress. Number 2. Percentage of learners at or above passing rate in the periodical test. And number 3. Percentage competencies covered by teachers. Number 3. The SMEA dashboard for reporting school year and performance. The school uses this dashboard to evaluate its effectiveness in implementing the curriculum and school-based management at the end of school year. It is not to be used for corrective actions, but for improving school strategies in the next school year. How the M&E system tracks access. The M&E system tracks both access and quality performance using various tools and techniques. Community mapping of learners' whereabouts is a process where participants prepare a map to show the location and number of school-aged children in the community, as well as the factors that motivate or prevent learners from going to school. Here's a suggested process for mapping learners' whereabouts. Step 1 is drawing the community map. Before conducting the mapping session with the community stakeholders, the multi-grade school prepares a map of the community. This may involve getting help from barangay officials to determine the boundaries between areas. The drawing need not be perfect, but accurate enough to determine the delineation of areas or sites. Step 2 is dot mapping of children who are in school. The multi-grade teachers convene the learners in school. Teachers discuss the objectives of the activity, which include 1. Locating where children live. 2. Identifying neighbors or playmates who they think should be in school but are not in school. And 3. Identifying areas where it's difficult to go to and from the school. Step 3 is mapping the learners with a community. The multi-grade school involves key community stakeholders who have unique knowledge of the household, terrain, and other relevant information about life in the community. Using the output of dot mapping in Step 2, the community adds more detailed information to the map, such as the location of children not yet identified in the map, relevant landmarks in the community like terrain, roads, and rivers, and dangerous or disaster-prone areas. Step 3 aims to provide a more accurate count and whereabouts of all learners in the community. Step 4 is validating the data. After determining the number of children in the community, the multi-grade school compares the learner's whereabouts map with existing documents from other agencies in the area. This is to validate and enhance the learner's whereabouts map. Such agencies include the Barangay Local Government Unit or Purok Leaders, barangay health workers, and social workers, nearby public or private schools, alternative learning system facilitators, and other development workers operating in the community. Step 5 is finalizing the learner's whereabouts map. After data validation, the multi-grade school finalizes the learner's whereabouts map, including a list of households in the community, households with children, and households whose children are in school and not in school. The final map will be used as baseline or reference material when tracking learners' whereabouts every school year in the June school monitoring, evaluation, and plan adjustment. The learner's whereabouts map provides information to the schools division to identify which schools are able or not able to bring school-aged children to school. This information allows the schools division to prioritize schools or areas with poor access performance, strengthen access strategies in such areas, and understand the local conditions and challenges affecting access. As input to district-level monitoring, evaluation, and plan adjustment, the learner's whereabouts map is critical to the schools division's programs on improving access, reducing dropouts and school leavers, and reducing absenteeism. Using the learner's whereabouts map, the district supervisor is able to identify communities with low kindergarten intake and low participation rates and the appropriate priority actions for them. How the M&E system tracks quality. One of the core mandates of the Department of Education is the delivery of the curriculum. How teachers perform in delivering the teaching and learning process influences how learners perform. However, there is no systematic process in place for determining teachers' coverage of the curriculum. Tracking curriculum implementation helps identify competencies that are difficult to teach, competencies that learners and teachers find difficult, and competencies requiring support resources. Having this information allows the school to immediately address these issues and perform corrective actions. There are immediate benefits in tracking curriculum implementation. It can help identify areas where teachers need further training based on actual needs. It can help promote the use of different teaching techniques. Feedback on least mastered competencies helps teachers deliver the curriculum more creatively, effectively, and more interesting for learners. It can provide critical input to curriculum improvement. Competencies that are least mastered and least covered or skipped should be documented and used as input when adjusting the curriculum and other support policies. Tracking curriculum implementation can also highlight the impact of the lack of learning resources. Efficiency and effectiveness in curriculum delivery should be analyzed in terms of the availability and usage of learning materials, learning facilities, and other support infrastructures. It can also highlight the effectiveness of instructional supervision. Skipping or failing to cover certain competencies should be a red flag for school heads. A low percentage of competencies covered may suggest the need for more instruction supervision or more technical support on supervision for the school head. The tool for tracking competencies covered is used by teachers for tracking and recording the competencies they have covered vis-a-vis competencies outlined in their budget of work, daily lesson plan, and daily lesson log. This data capture tool will be used to document commonly covered and least covered competencies. At the school and district level, the same tool can be used by the school head and district supervisor in tracking the implementation of the curriculum. This will also be used as one of the reference materials in the SMEA for August, October, and January. Another instrument for tracking quality is the multi-grade classroom observation tool. This tool is designed to support effective instructional practices in multi-grade setups and relies on the application of the growth mindset. The tool covers all elements of instructional delivery and contains clear indicators of what is expected in a multi-grade classroom that supports learning for diverse pupils and promotes reflective teaching. It includes the following. Number 1, lesson plan and lesson organization. Number 2, instructional practices and strategy, including lesson delivery, use of instructional materials and technology, support for diverse learners, and learning assessment. Number 3, learner response. Number 4, classroom environment and culture, including classroom structure, classroom culture, and class management. Number 5, remedial and enrichment activities. To optimize the use of this tool, it is best that every multi-grade teacher has a copy of it at the start of the school year. It is unlikely that all elements of multi-grade instructional delivery would be documented in a single classroom visit. You have to decide which among these elements would be the observation focus. Inform the teacher which multi-grade element is the target of your observation and when this will be done. Fill in the details about the class to be observed. Note the date of observation. Multiple observations of the same multi-grade element over a school year would be good basis for supporting effective multi-grade teacher practices. This can track progress in specific instructional areas over time. Since observing the multi-grade classroom covers a number of levels, it is important to monitor and rate the instructional and learning processes for each grade level. Have a copy of the lesson plan of the teacher to be observed. Examine it carefully and mark the first section of this tool under lesson plan and organization. Check each item under E for evident or NE for not evident, depending on the content of the lesson plan. Then, note the evidence under the remarks column. With the identified elements of multi-grade delivery from the tool, observe the class and document specific details. For the elements under instructional practices and strategies, learner response, and classroom environment and culture, use the following rating guidelines and mark the item in the tool with 4 for very evident throughout the class session, 3 for evident during most but not all of the class session, 2 for evident during a limited portion of the class session, and 1 for not evident to any degree during the class session. Take note of evidence of your rating. For the last section on remediation and enrichment, mark each item under E for evident, or NE for not evident, and note the evidence under the remarks column. Together with the classroom observation tool, it is important to implement the coaching dialogue. The coaching dialogue aims to promote self-awareness and reflection among teachers so that they can bring their multi-grade instructional practices to a more effective level. The teacher's voice should therefore be heard in this process. Effective coaching occurs when there is a dialogue instead of a prescriptive monologue that dictates how multi-grade instructional delivery should be done. Fill out the coaching dialogue form by writing a summary of the strengths of the teacher and areas to work on based on the details of your observation notes. Allow time for the observed teacher to fill out only the relevant section of the coaching dialogue form after the class visit. For example, which multi-grade instructional delivery element was the focus during the observation? A coaching dialogue follows the actual classroom observation. Since this is the dialogue, the teacher initially shares what she perceives are her strengths and areas to work on. Afterwards, the observer provides feedback on the quality of teaching practices of the multi-grade teacher. The teacher, together with a principal or supervisor, sets and agrees on an action plan in line with the results of the observation. Both parties sign the form. Keep a file of this tool to compare future observations of the same teacher, especially if the focus is on the same multi-grade delivery element. Jumpstarting M&E systems. Most difficulties in M&E implementation result from poor startup. To avoid this,
Welcome back for this.
Recording in
Nandito na
progress.
po ba lahat?
Check po tayo.
Sige po. Okay po.
Region 9, are you in? Are you all in Region 9? Paramdam lang po kung nandito na po ang Region 9. Ayan, nakikita ko na po sila. Region 10. Okay, nandito rin. Region 11. Thank you very much. Region 11, Region 12. Okay. Caraga. Farm. Okay, very good. Okay, nandito na po ang car. Thank you very much. May hindi po ba ako natawag? Ayan, kumpleto na tayo. 9, 10, 11, 12, Caraga, Barm, and Car. We're all present. They're all in the room. We're now 320 in the room, Ma'am Ian.
Thank you po, Ma'am Carmen. So this afternoon po, we will have a session on the workshop on the preparation of the home learning plan. So we will be divided per region po. And to explain the mechanics, maybe call on Mr. James muna.
So James, kindly unmute po.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Narinig niyo ako?
Yes, sir.
Ito kasi hindi ko ma-unmute. Kanina nag-work tayo. Hindi ko talaga na-unmute. Tinatawag niyo ako, natitig ko eh. Pero, nag-ano kasi yung laptop ko. By the way, let me explain the workshop mechanics for the preparation of weekly home learning plan. Okay, saglit na nga. I-share ko lang yung slide. Okay, nakita niyo ba? Nakita ba ang Carmen? Nakikita ba?
Yes, sir. Clear po. Maliwanag na ang
Okay. So, ayan po. Yung itong mechanics na ito, naka-upload po ito kahapon pa. So, I hope lahat ng focus person sa bawat student ay na-share po ito sa mga participants ninyo. Okay? So, ang objective po for this workshop is to design a customized multi-grade weekly home learning plan which is used by our teachers to class instructional activities in the curriculum and to be learned by the learner. So kanina, yung sessions natin on the preparation of weekly home learning plan by Ma'am Rosalie. Diniscuss ko doon yung mga things na kailangan natin dito sa learning plan. Okay? So, ang dami na kaninang mga diniscuss. I hope lahat kayo may mga input na pwede nyo dito i-apply. Okay? I-apply dito sa paggawa ng learning class. Okay? So, this is for learners. Hindi po siya pang teacher. Si teacher lang po ang mag-prepare. Pero kasama niyo pa rin ang mga magulang or guardian. Kaya, itong workshop na ito napakahalaga dahil ang multi-grade, considering na si teacher ay ang dami niyang hawak dito, maybe dalawa. Some of them are handling grades. So, hindi ko ma-imagine paano niya kinukumplan itong basic learning plan for 2 or 3 grades. Kaya in this workshop, meron kami binigay na itong first part. So, pag-aralan nyo muna itong number 1. Sabi dito, study group pa. Okay? Yun, pag-aralan nyo ini multi-grade setup. So, para lang mas-situate natin yung multi-grade setup, okay, dito sa ating learning plan, you need to consider this fact about multi-grade setup or multi-grade technique. Okay? So, ayan, pag-aralan ninyo yan, whether you consider it or not, ito sa inyong plan. Okay? At binigyan natin it for consideration in this particular workshop. So, let us be, ang let us be naman, ito po yung existing increase natin for the preparation of this group based on policy and memorandum 16-2019. Yan, ito po yung template natin. So, diniscuss po mga sa Facebook nila. Very details ang ating hapon. Especially kung ano yung nangyayari na tayo sa column ng learning path. Ating klase din natin, consider natin, kailangan ba natin ng road, info, o yung simple lang, ang paano ba. Okay? So, ano yung mga practices din ngayon sa field? In terms of preparing the program, now, kung sasabihin natin, mag-create tayo ng proposed business for multi-grade learners, kailangan, ano po ba yung pagkakaipay na dito sa ginagawa ngayon para sa mga multi-grade learners? So, yun yung kailangan din yung ipopropose. Okay? Doon sa ika-come up ninyo business, including the content. Okay? Papaano nyo i-describe yung mga task in such a way na ma-simplify siya para sa mga ginagawa din yung multi-grade learners talaga siya. Kasi, take note ang dami iti-training yung mga multi-grade teacher, iti-training ng multi-grade yung hawak niya. Kaya kailangan natin mag-jump up ng mas simplify, understandable sa parents, understandable sa bata. Kasi hindi naman kailangan ilalagay din yung kasi guide lang nila yun eh. So baka magiging burden pa sa mga teachers. Instead na matutulungan yung kanyang pag-administer sa mga bata, lagi mahirapan si teacher kasi another compliant na naman sa part niya. So, we have to make sure na itong requirement na ito ay hindi working sa teacher. Instead, masimplify siya at kahit na hindi masacrifice yung talagang learning plan na sinasabi natin for the learner. Okay? And then number 2, once napag-aralan na dito A and B, come up with a summary of your insights and ideas. Okay? Based on this, and then plus yung mga input kanina, nilamang totally, plus your teaching practice in the division, the school, and then come up with the simplified version of this new learning plan for the multi-grade learners. Okay? So then you have a presentation of your output after bibigyan natin kayo until 2:30. So, medyo mahaba-haba din siya. Then, mag-present po ang bawat region na kabilang na-come up na version of weekly home learning plan for multi-grade learners. So again, ito-summarize natin siya, gawin natin yung simplified, working the constitution, we are sacrificing, of course, the essentials of the learning task from the student and don't forget to include the email. Okay? Kasi kaya pa natin ginagawa ko dahil para makita natin kung paano yung nilalakad ko. Okay, so that's the mechanics of our workshop. Okay? So may naka-assign po sa bawat team. Kompleto po ba si Ingrid yung mag-arvin?
Yes, sir. Nandito po ang lahat.
Okay, sige. So, ayan po the same assignment po tayo lahat. Every video, meron naka-assign po sa video. Then go to your respective videos and just click the join sa breakout room. Okay? Sige. Thank you po. Good luck to everyone. Sige.